Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the most, Avery LR32 here, bringing you guys the top 32 WCQ Europe Lightsworn Ruler deck profile. Now, I want to bring you guys this for a few reasons. Number one, because it's the very first Lightsworn Ruler deck with the new support. I guess you could say like it's the first event of Lightsworn Rulers with the new support would probably be a better term for it. Number two, because it was really interesting, like the side and more the side than anything, and a little bit of the extra deck. Not so much the main, since it is pretty standard. And then the third reason, because literally our builds were exactly the same. I'm not even kidding with you. Literally, our builds were the exact same verbatim. This is his entire deck list right here. The only difference between my main deck build and his main deck build was that he was running Honest and I wasn't. And I'm posting my deck profile of this either later today or tomorrow, and I already know for a fact that some a-holes are going to be like, oh, this is the exact same build from top 32 of Europe. No shit, because they are literally the exact same builds. So I just want to put it out there right now that I've already had this build since before Europe happened, so when I go to post my deck profile of this, I don't want to see any asinizing comments to say that it's the exact same build, except without Honest, from WCQ Europe. I don't want to see any of that. If I see any of that, I'm just deleting your comment and I'm blocking you, because I already said it in this video and I'm not repeating myself in a comment or a video response or whatever. Other than that, I didn't have a side deck. He obviously had a side. I made changes to the extra deck accordingly because I don't have a mech-equipped engineer or a Ghost Trick Alucard. So I was using a Fortune Tune, and I was using Zenmaines just because I felt that Zenmaines was just an overall really... It's just a good card in general, honestly. And I did swap out Crimson Blader for Spark Dragon. I felt Spark Dragon was a better choice, but then once he said it was for the mirror match, I was like, yeah, that does kind of make sense because it shuts down the Lightsworn player in the mirror match. Like, it just completely shuts them out. So yeah, our builds are exactly the same, except he was using Honest and I wasn't. I wasn't using Honest for the utter reason that in testing I always found myself milling it, and I mean, it was never helpful, and he even said the same thing. I always milled it. Like, he is even thinking about just taking it out altogether, which I'm going to take it out right after this deck profile because this is my original build. I didn't have to throw a single card in it except for the side deck, and took out a couple cards from the extra deck. So anyways, let's hop right into this deck profile here. So he runs Blaster, Red Ox, and Tempest. Honestly, you could, in this build, you could swap out Tempest for Tidal if you really wanted to. Just for the fact that, you know, you could banish Tempest, you're not going to be searching for anything. I mean, it goes hand in hand with Leviair. So, and Dracosac. So that could be a reason why you want to keep Tempest in there. It's all player preference. I just prefer Tempest because I did forget that Leviair and Dracosac do go with it because I was constantly thinking dragons. So I just prefer Tempest just because you have the extra targets in the form of the extra deck. Then we have the 1-card Trooper. That's all you need. 3 Eclipse Wyvern, obvious reasons. And then all you need is 1 Aaron, 1 Garoth, 1 Jane, and 1 Wolf. It's standard. If you're running more than 1 Wolf, I mean, it's really iffy. Like, I mean, you're going to have those times where you draw it, and you don't want that to be happening. Triple JD, I don't feel I need to explain that. Yeah. 3 Lumina, 3 Diablos, double Curry Bandit, triple Rainbow Karibo, triple Raiden, 1 Minerva, and 1 Lila. One thing about Curry Bandit is that one of the other cards that I was doing in testing, which I highly suggest you guys test out as well, if you don't have Curry Bandit, like if you have Curry Bandit, you might want to run Curry Bandit. But you also might find Magical Merchant to be really good in this deck. In case you don't remember what Magical Merchant does, it's a flip effect monster where when you flip it, you send cards on the top of your deck to the graveyard until you hit a trap, I believe it is, like a spell or trap. And you send the remaining cards to the graveyard. Yeah, until you excavate a spell or trap, add that card to your hand, and I'll send the remaining cards to the grave. So you have the potentiality to mill more than 5 cards, but you also have the potentiality to mill less than 5 cards. So it's one of those cards that you have to take like the yin and the yang with. But I highly suggest you try out Magical Merchant because, like, what's nice about it is that you can set it, and it's also a light too, so it can be used with Honest. You can set it, and then if it's turn 1, then your opponent will be like, oh, it's probably a hand, or oh, it's probably a Yugioh armor, and then they're gonna use their resources to work around it if they think it's one of those cards, and then you just flip it up next turn. No, it's a Magical Merchant, and then just start milling, and then even if you mill less than 5, okay, fine, whatever, it happens, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's all player preference. Anyways, for the spells, we have 1 charge, 3 solar recharge, 3 soul charge, pretty standard. For the traps, triple Needlebug Nest, and I already mentioned Honest in the monster lineup, so Needlebug Nest is just self-explanatory. Side deck, we have triple Raikou, pretty much for anti-meta like it's always been. Oh, I never knew that they changed the wording on it. Apply these effects in sequence. Okay, I didn't know they changed the wording on that. But anyway, yeah, anti-meta, the hands, Yugiohs even whenever they want to set army, you just flip it up, pop, mill 3. I mean, it's pretty standard. Maxis for all the special summons. MSTs because this deck, I'm sorry, this side deck is like an anti-side kind of deal. You know, you always have to fear the D-Fisher and the macro and all that. So another thing that you could test out in here is Royal Decree. 3 breakthrough skill, 3 Fiend Comedian. In case you don't know what it does, I don't even know what set this even came out of, but apparently it's a $2 card. You toss a coin, you call it. If you call it right, all of your opponent's cards in the graveyard are removed from play immediately. And if you call it wrong, you send a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to the grave. So it's pretty good. Felgrin, I mean, you're really not losing out. I meant to also say, no matter what the result is, you're really not losing out. It's like another Needlebug Nest. 1 Felgrin, 1 Dracosac, 1 Big Eye, 1 Exciton, 1 Honor Arc, 1 Level Chain, 1 Mech Engineer, which he said he never made, 1 Alucard, 1 Leviaire, 1 Michael, 1 Arcanite Magician. I really liked this tech. The ability that you have to go Raiden plus like a level 3 Lumina or even a level 3 Card Trooper. I'm sorry, Lumina because it's Spellcaster, and then be able to just pop 2 cards on board without having to waste your Black Rose is really good. I never thought about that, so props to him on that. Black Rose, Crimson Blair, like I said, the mirror match, Leo. I don't think or was he running Star Eater? No, I don't believe he's running Star Eater. I think he's running something else in place of it, but I don't remember what it was. But I know through testing and all that, I kind of like Star Eater. The ability that it has with the Dragon Rollers is really, really, really nice. So yeah, you guys, that is the deck. If you enjoyed it, like or favorite, be appreciated. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. This is the top 32 WCQ Europe Lightsworn Ruler deck profile.